Okay. Jai Spadikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Jiyo Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Jiyo Ki Jai Jai Shri Akṣaya Tritīyā Ki Jai Chandan Yatra Ki Jai and all the others. Jai Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansasta Tarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansasta Tarasata Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansasta Tarasata Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhara Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Paramahansa Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Kishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Saptam Gosai Sri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhaum Sri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Gauriya Vedanta Charja Baladev Vijabhushan Prabhu Ki Jai Rasika Shiromani Sri Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Srila Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandadi Gaura Parsada Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Hari Das Thakur Ki Jai Prem Siko Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Antar Dvip Mayapur Simanta Dvip Godram Dvip Madhya Dvip Kola Dvip Ritu Dvip Janu Dvip Moda Druma Dvip Ruda Dvip Atmaka Shri Shri Navadvip Dhama Ki Jai Jai Shri Purushottam Kshetra Shri Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvadashavanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dhama Ki Jai Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiyo Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Raman Radha Damodar Jiyo Ki Jai Srimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Sakhi Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Ananga Manjari Adi Manjari Vrinda Ki Jai Srimati Brinda Devi Ki Jai Srimati Purnamasi Yogamaya Devi Ki Jai Shri Gopi Swar Mahadev Ki Jai Sarva Bhishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiyo Ki Jai Shri Chandan Yatra Shri Jagannatha Deva Ki Jai Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nrsinga Dev Ki Jai Bhakta Prabhu Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai Charodam Charo Sampradaya Charo Acharya Ki Jai Akara Matraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai और अनन्य शाखा मत समूह की जय श्री विश्व वैष्णव राजसभा की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय Tribhuvana Pavana Harinam Samkirtan Ki Jai. Tribhuvana Mangala Harinama Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai. Sachinandan Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajana Ki Jai. Shri Panchatattva Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. So I'm reading the events for today. Chandan Yatra of Lord Jagannath. The first day of Satya Yuga, we'll hear about that, because it's actually the day of creation. Creation started on Akṣaya Tritīyā. Opening of the doors of who? Sri Badrinarayan Temple in the Himalayan mountains, because before that it's too much snow and cold. But on this day, those doors open and now people can go by foot. And the inauguration day in 1941 by Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, by our beloved Srila Prabhupada, and not sure of the third. So the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti was registered and inaugurated on this day, Akṣaya Tritīyā, in 1941. Then today is also the appearance day of Sri Parasuram, and it is his Jayanti day, his appearance day. Then there's also one great Vaishnava who is a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and his name is Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Goswami Maharaj. And Akṣaya Tritīyā day. Now we go to our WhatsApp and we now announce what is just told, that it's also the day that Sudama visited Sri Krishna in Dwarka. And he didn't have anything but some very insignificant chipped rice to give, because he was so poor. But he brought that in a bag. And Krishna welcomed him because they were classmates under Sandipani Muni. And they had some pastimes together where during the night there was a big storm and they huddled together. And then in the morning, Sandipani Muni and the students came to search and they found them. So Sri Krishna has very intimate relationship with Sudama Vipra, the Brahmin Sudama. And we know the story that this is the day that he visited Krishna in Dwarka. And then Krishna washed his lotus feet, wanted to worship him, and Rukmini was also there. And then Sudama, who had barely anything to his name at all, so poor, but he was so filled with ecstasy, being with Sri Krishna, and Krishna was honoring and worshipping him as an exalted Brahman Vaishnava, as his dear friend. And Sri Krishna asked him, "What have you brought for me in your pouch?" And then he kind of tried to hide it, but Krishna grabbed, and "Oh, you have this rice." And Krishna took, and he became overwhelmed with ecstasy. But then Rukmini Devi, who is nearby, and who is she? She's also the goddess of fortune. And she stopped Krishna from taking more, because she said, already, you are indebted to him eternally. If you take more, then... So like that, today is the day that Sudama Vipra. And it's Akṣaya Tritīyā. So what did Krishna reward to him? He didn't ask for anything. Nothing. He completely forgot, even though his wife told him, ask your friend Krishna, he's a great king. We don't even barely have sticks to stay underneath, so please ask him for something. And then after his visit with Krishna and he was going back to his home, then as he neared to the place of his home, he saw in the distance a huge gigantic palace. And he saw in front of the palace his wife beautifully dressed and so many other ladies beautifully dressed. And she came running towards him and told him, just see what your friend has provided for us, you know. So Akṣaya, we will understand the meaning of the word Akṣaya, because Akṣaya means what? It cannot be exhausted. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Bharati Maharaj very nicely explains in his Katha. I'll read that. How there's no such thing as Akṣaya in the material world except for bhakti. But the materialistic persons, they want to have their wealth be inexhaustible. So they like to give charity on this day, so that it will be returned inexhaustibly. But there is no such thing in the material world. Nothing is inexhaustible in the material world. Nothing. You see? So really, for the Vaishnavas on this day, our only business is to do bhakti to Krishna. It doesn't change our situation at all. That, oh, on this day I have to acquire this, or I have to get the benediction for this, or like that. So he says, no. Our only interest is bhakti. May my bhakti to Krishna increase. So, also Srila Vyasadeva began on this day. We're not against starting various transcendental spiritual projects on this day, because that's the example of our Guru Varga. They established the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, which became so very, very much important in this world. Even our Srila Prabhupada was member of that. So we're not against that, but we are against trying to acquire material things on this day. Now Vyasadeva started to compose the Mahabharata on this day. Did you know that? On this day, the epic, the greatest epic ever composed in this world, Mahabharata. It was composed, the starting of it was composed, after Maharaj, after. The starting of it was composed, Mahabharata, on this day. He began the composition. More than 100,000 shlokas. 100,000 shlokas in Mahabharata. Even the universities and all the scholars throughout the world, they know about this. And you know what they call it? The epic. There are different epics, but this is the epic. Mahabharata. It's the ultimate story of Sri Krishna's appearance in this material world, and the Bhagavad Gita is also part of the Mahabharata. It's one of the chapters in the Mahabharata, in the section called Yuddha Kanda, where the war, the battle is about to begin. The Kurukshetra battle.
52.
52 what?
Chapter 52.
Okay. And so you know that the Pandavas, when they were exiled, they were wandering in the forests also, the Pandavas. Because Yudhishthira liked to gamble. Is an activity of Kshatriyas. But by the will of the Lord, their situation became depleted because he kept on losing. And so the Kauravas, Duryodhana and others, they began winning more and more. So the Pandavas were exiled, but they actually received a pot, cooking pot. And that cooking pot is called Akṣaya Patra. Patra means cooking pot. And it was that cooking pot that was utilized on the day when Durvasa Rishi came there, when the Pandavas were in Kamyavan. And I'm not narrating the story, but only scraping a little tiny bit of spinach that was still left on the pot, because the whole pot had been washed, everything. But Krishna came there, and when Krishna came there, he said, just give me something. And they could not see, but then they suddenly saw, oh, there's this tiny, tiny little speck of spinach that wasn't washed on the pot. And then Krishna scraped that off with his fingernail, and he put it in his mouth. And when Krishna tasted that, then Durvasa Rishi and all of his disciples who were with him, I don't know, 1,000 disciples, whatever, they were all bathing. And when they were bathing, they suddenly realized, we're completely full, as if we've eaten far more than our capacity. There's no way that we can even take one tiny little morsel more. And then at that time, Yudhishthira sent Bhim. And Bhim started going there to call Durvasa Rishi to come, and he had his club with him also. And then Durvasa Rishi and all of them, they realized, okay, we've been defeated, and whoosh, up into the air, they all flew away. So that pot is called Akṣaya Patra. Akṣaya Patra. ISKCON has used that name, Akṣaya Patra, for their prasadam distribution all over India, where they distribute millions of plates of prasadam, and the Indian government actually matches it. Whatever donations that they get, then the Indian government also matches that. So they're able to do this massive prasadam distribution. And the name of that program is called Akṣaya Patra. Raghava Pandit. What? Raghava Pandit, what? What? Madhu? Madhu Bandhu. You mean the person who does that? Okay. Okay. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Jaya Sachinandana. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna. Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinatha, Radha Gopinatha Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Radha Ramana Radha Ramana Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe. Jaya Krishna Jaya Krishna Jaya Krishna Jaya Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Shri Akṣaya Patra Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bhangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Tvishe Namah Nityanandam Namastubhyam Prem Ananda Pradayane Kalo Kalamashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Ajanulambita Pujo Kanakavadato Samkirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Jugadharma Palo Pande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Nama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Guru Dev Nitya Leela Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansas Tatarashata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Guru Devs Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Offer my Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of all my Sri Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and I offer my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis. So I decided to read an article for Akṣaya Tritīyā by our Gurudev. I don't know the date of this, but... Oh, wait a minute, yes. I do know the date. One moment. So this was from 6th of May, 2000. This is in Hawaii, 6th of May 2000. So Gurudev says that today is a very auspicious day, Akṣaya Tritīyā. We will observe it tomorrow, however, because today there are 3 tithis, lunar time periods, touching one day. Today, also, the door of Badrinarayan will be open, and therefore a festival will be observed in Puri with Lord Jagannath. Chandan Yatra will also begin on this auspicious day. Especially anyone who will begin anything on this day, that endeavor will be successful. Akṣaya means not perishable. So if you are sincerely taking Diksha initiation today, your bhakti will be very successful. Today, on Akṣaya Tritīyā, the universe was created by Brahma. The universe took its shape today. So today is the first day of creation. Also, Brahma created barley, which is like a medicine, and which is the root of all the corn and all other foodstuffs. So barley is given today to Krishna. What's the Russian word for barley? The Russian word for barley? None of you know? You don't know. Look it up. The Russian word for barley. Yes, barley. Okay. Now today is the birthday of our Gaudiya Vedanta Society. Yes, today is the birthday. On this day, Sri Abhay Charan Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he became one of the founder members of Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. So if anyone tells you that you have left Prabhupada or ISKCON because you're outside the institution of ISKCON, but you happen to be in the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, well, then you can say, no, what are you talking about? Our Prabhupada is one of the co-founders of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. Then one devotee comments to Gurudev when he says this. The devotee says, not many devotees realize this, that our Prabhupada was a founding member. Then Brajanath Das says, the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti was founded by Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj in 1941, and Srila Prabhupada was present there. Then Srila Gurudev Narayan Goswami Maharaj says, he was one of the founding members. Krishna consciousness and Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti are the same thing. This Krishna consciousness movement is actually coming from Brahma, Narad, Vyas, Shukadev Goswami, who are all members of ISKCON. To serve Krishna is ISKCON. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is not the establisher of ISKCON, but he is the reorganizer. He himself has said this. There's an end note, which he himself told. ISKCON is transcendental. All those who serve Krishna and all those who wish to serve Krishna, they are ISKCON. I'm reading that sentence again. ISKCON is transcendental. All those who serve Krishna and all those who wish to serve Krishna are ISKCON. So we are all in ISKCON. Yes. That's Gurudev's Katha on this day. But there's an end note here. It says, I think that this is quoted from, this is quoted from The Journey of Self-Discovery by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada. Thus, Brahma was initiated by the Krishna mantra, by Lord Krishna himself. And thus he became a Vaishnava, or a devotee of the Lord. This is before he was able to construct the huge universe. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita that Lord Brahma was initiated into the 18-letter Krishna mantra, which is generally accepted by all the devotees of Lord Krishna. We follow the same principle because we belong to the Brahma Sampradaya, directly in the disciplic chain from Brahma to Narada, from Narada to Vyas, from Vyas to Madhva Muni, from Madhva Muni to Madhavendra Puri, from Madhavendra Puri to Ishwara Puri, from Ishwara Puri to Lord Chaitanya, and gradually to His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, our Divine Master. This is from Prabhupada's purport in the Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Verse 6. Now, the next quote is from that Journey of Self-Discovery. Prabhupada is saying that in another verse, Rupa Goswami says, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate. And then in parentheses it's said here, I have translated the words Krishna consciousness from Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita. So here, Rupa Goswami advises, if Krishna consciousness is available, please purchase it immediately. Don't delay. It is a very nice thing. I'm also going to read one more by Srila Gurudev.
Raj, I think in other places it also mentions that Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Maharaj was also one of the founding members.
No, not of Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. There were three. He's not one of the official founding members, but he joined with them when they began and was cooperating with them. Now, there's another lecture here by our Srila Gurudev in celebration of Akṣaya Tritīyā. And this is from oh, wait. Yeah, 18th of April, on Akṣaya Tritīyā Day, on the 18th of April, 1961, Srila Gurudev, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, he delivered a speech at the Maharashtra Mandala in Mathura in 1961. Notes were made of his talk, which was later published in the Sri Bhagavad Patrika, the year 6, issue 12, under Srila Gurudev's auspices. And the following are excerpts from that talk that he gave. On 18th April 1961, at Sri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti's primary preaching center, Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Mat, Mathura, the Akṣaya Tritīyā was celebrated with great pomp. It was on Akṣaya Tritīyā that the Samiti was founded. So on this occasion, at the special invitation of the Maharashtra Mandala of Mathura, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, editor of Sri Bhagavad Patrika, he arrived there with the Mat Brahmacharis. Following some kirtan by the Mat's kirtan troupe, the Swami, Srila Gurudev, gave a piti, and, P-I-T-H-Y, piti, a very pithy and inspiring speech. Pithy, we pronounce it pithy, but I'm not exactly sure. I think it means a very filled with a lot of significance, pithy. So, he gave this speech regarding Akṣaya Tritīyā. And he related several reasons why Akṣaya Tritīyā is such a glorious occasion. So now here's what he told. It is on this very day that Bhagavan reinitiates Satya Yuga after destroying the atheists or the so-called Buddhists in his incarnation as Kalki. So according to certain compilers of scripture, Treta Yuga also begins on this auspicious day. This is the very first day that Yajna, sacred fire sacrifice, as propounded by the three Vedas, it was commenced, fire yajnas. On this day, Bhagavan's Shakti Avesh avatar, his empowered incarnation Parashuram, also made his auspicious appearance. 21 times he eradicated the societies of those inimical to Bhagavan and inimical to his bhaktas from the earth, so as to establish a dharmic, a spiritually enlightened society. Today also is the auspicious day that the emperor of Bharat, ancient India, Bhagirat, through his relentless worship, he pleased Bhagavati Bhagirati Gangaji, who later made her appearance in Bharata Bhumi, and thus making this land supremely pure. Today is the day that Lord Sri Sri Badri Narayan's temple door reopens in the Himalayas. And it is also the day in Sri Puri Dham that Sri Krishna's Chandan Yatra festival is celebrated with grand ceremony. So therefore, from looking at the Puranas and the Itihasas, the ancient histories, we learn that today is a day of spiritual revolution. Today is the day this world's irreligious, atheistic, corrupt, and downright materialistic society was uprooted. And in its place, the foundation of a religious, theistic, and spiritual society was cast. An utterly materialistic society causes the destruction of the world, whereas a religious society with firm faith in Bhagavan is the cornerstone of peace in this world. Then there's a note here that the revered editor of Sri Bhagavat Patrika, namely our Gurudev, he then began to explain how most persons enamored with Western culture, they believe that Russia and America have ushered the world into a divine new era by sending mankind into outer space. As a result, today's society is progressing toward the ultimate step of advancement. But he says, but I ask this. Although there is no doubt that superbly miraculous advancements are occurring in science, have they solved the problem of there being no world peace? Has the issue of providing food for the hungry not become worse than before? Has the shortage of food and clothing been solved? Is it even in the process of being solved? Has the problem of disease become less than before? Or is it not increasing and assuming more terrible forms? Are this world's complex problems of corruption, immorality, suicide, cheating rings, theft, provincialism, linguistic prejudice, racism, futile civil disobedience, and protest, etc., are they not confronting us in newer and newer ways? Are these problems not becoming more and more complex day by day? Have the problems arising from the tragic and the shameful events in places like Congo, Tibet, Japan, Korea, and Suez not disgraced those who have been boasting of progress in the world? Is the ongoing violence and the arbitrary torture of the birds and beasts, the world's innocent life forms, an example of equality and universal love in this so-called scientific age? Shame on this false and barbaric materialistic progress and its heroes. Just see how Gurudev is speaking in 1961. The fact of the matter is that today's materialistic scientists, they can say whatever they like, but as their actions show, they regard the body made of 5 elements as I, the self. And they undertake painstaking toil to make this temporary body immortal and supply it with as much happiness as possible. They do not accept the birds and the beasts as being rightful inhabitants of the world. They regard them merely as food and sport for humans. The philosophers, scholars, and sages of ancient India, though fully capable of technological advancement, they deliberately imposed a firm restraint on material progress. They regarded not this material body as I, but the infinitesimal consciousness located within the body, the soul, which is part and parcel of the sum total of consciousness, Ishvara, God. Our Indian philosophers were scientists, acquainted with the truth of the soul. They focused all of their attention on how the infinitesimal soul, who for some reason turned away from Bhagavan and became trapped in a cycle of repeated birth and death in the ocean of material existence, thus incurring frightful sorrow and suffering, how that soul might forever escape this predicament and attain eternal happiness and peace. At the same time, they were not opposed to activities that keep this human body happy and healthy, which is an indispensable aid for attaining spiritual knowledge. They were also very advanced in worldly science. Many millions of years before today, Ravana, Meghanada, and others roamed everywhere up and down throughout this universe, without the help of any vehicle, airplane, or rocket. Agastya Muni drank up all the water in the 7 oceans in a single handful. Maharshi Vedavyas could generate children by just his vision. Shukracharya repeatedly revived the asuras by the power of mantra when they were killed in battle. Present-day science is nothing in front of the science of so many millions of years past. Then again, those people, scholars and sages of ancient India, they kept material sciences in check. And that is why, in ancient culture, they who wanted to suppress the spiritual interests and promote increasing worldly prosperity, such as Ravan, Meghanada, Hiranyakashipu, Mayadanava, and others, that is why they are referred to as asuras, demons. Our ancestors knew well that if advancement were only material, devoid of faith in the Lord and spiritual values, then spiritual interests would certainly be neglected. So with that, destruction would be inevitable. And they therefore esteemed simple living and high thinking. And they endeavored to deliver every living entity from the cycle of birth and death, and to establish in the true eternal service of Bhagavan. So if we want to save this world from destruction, then on this sanctified day, in a united way, we must dispose of the present state of society which is disinclined towards Bhagavan. We must pledge to reestablish a religious society that is rooted in the spiritual science of our ancient culture. Only then it will be possible for the entire world to attain true peace and true happiness. Translated from Sri Bhagavad Patrika, 1961, by the rays of the harmonist team. Gaur Premanande. Is that not amazing? That's actually, I've never read this before. This is astonishing. It's practically identical to our Srila Prabhupada's preaching. It's practically identical to his purports, where he is pointing this out from the first canto all the way through the Srimad Bhagavatam. In his lectures, it's practically identical. Now this is 1961. In 1961, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj was regularly visiting our Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj in Vrindavan. At first at, what's it called? Something Gopal place in Vrindavan. But then after that in 62, from 62 till 65, our Srila Prabhupada lived at Radha Damodar temple, and that's where he translated the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto and all. But prior, even to 1961, our Srila Prabhupada was also living in Mathura Math with Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, and he was also writing articles for the Bhagavad Patrika, yes, in Hindi. So it's not surprising to me that by that connection and association, the two of them, they had this same kind of mood. So Srila Prabhupada knew this very, very well. Who is this person, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj? And that's why he called him in his final days in Vrindavan and told him, please help my disciples, which he did gloriously. Every single year, every single moment, till the very last breath, he was doing that service to our Srila Prabhupada by his request. I wanted to read real quickly also another article by our Gurudev, which is titled Sadhu Sangha, a Must. This is spoken in Tucson, Arizona, May 4th, 2003, by Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj at the University of Arizona, Tucson. Srila Guru Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj spent 2 weeks in Tucson, Arizona to write and to rest and to receive medical treatment. And while there, he gave a class in the Student Union of the University of Arizona. About 60 people were present, half devotees and half students of the university, and the local residents of Tucson. Srila Maharaj's doctor was also in the audience, and Srila Maharaj helped him and all others present to understand how they can remain in their present occupations and become Krishna conscious at the same time. So after offering his heart-touching obeisances to his Diksha Guru and to our Srila Prabhupada, he began thus. He said, "You should know my relationship with your Prabhupada. He is my Siksha Guru and also the godbrother of my spiritual master. He took sannyas, the renounced order, from my spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and I did too. So we are also godbrothers. We are also very intimate friends. I have known him since 1946, and I have served and obeyed him since then. He is Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, and I am Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj. I accepted sannyas in 1954, and he accepted it in 1959. So with respect to the renounced order, I am senior to him. I taught him how to make a danda, a sannyas staff, how to wear these saffron clothes, and he was very pleased with me. He thus shared with me so many Krishna consciousness truths." He first met his Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, 80 years ago in India. And at that time, he received the order to go to the Western countries to preach in the English language. And he was delayed, and he came to the West after about 40 years. So he wanted to take me with him to the Western countries, especially to New York, where he first began to preach. He ordered me to send him all his books, which I did. I also sent him Radha Krishna deities, mridangas, kartals, so many kinds of sweets and other paraphernalia. He wrote over 400 letters to me, and he confided to me in one letter that we have a transcendental relation that cannot be destroyed. How did he come to America? By Scindia shipping lines, over the sea, not by airplane, carrying some books like Bhagavad Gita and his translation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. At that time, he was penniless. First he came to Boston, then went to New York, and in a garden, in a park, he used to sing with kartals, chanting with his eyes closed, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tears flowed from his eyes as he sang, and his heart melted. In that park, there were so many hippies drinking alcohol and engaging in many illicit activities. They came and they surrounded him. And when he sang, they would dance and sometimes offer him their bottles of wine. After some time, he turned all those hippies into happies, and their lives were changed. Thousands of hippies became happy, and they followed him. They began to meditate and worship the Supreme Lord, and thus they became very happy. He used to write me from all the places in which he was preaching. In a couple of years, he translated many Indian scriptures, and he wrote many books, and his books have been translated into all the prominent languages of the world. He preached in the mountains, on islands like Hawaii, in forests like Sharanagati in Canada, in the desert, and in so many countries around the world. His voice has reached everywhere, and his books have helped so many to realize the truths of Krishna consciousness. He also established numerous preaching centers, farms for cow protection, and schools. But when he left this world, what happened? Now there are no goshalas, because there are no longer any cows. And almost all the preaching centers are going to be closed because there are no students or devotees. After he left, all of his sannyasis, except one or two, they left the mission. So many brahmacharis left as well. Ladies who were not married and had been preaching, distributing books, establishing schools, doing so much service, they also became weak and they left. Many became householders. Some turned against this philosophy and mission. I do not want to mention their names, but I know the formerly responsible leaders. Why did it happen? We should try to analyze this history. First, a person must realize that worldly life is neither peaceful nor happy. There are so many problems in this world. One may be a beautiful lady or gentleman. One may be wealthy and talented, with a good job, but still one day he or she will be old. No one can avoid this, not even with the help of thousands and thousands of doctors and scientists. When we become old, our beauty will go away. Our teeth, our eyesight, and everything else, it will become weak, and we will have to use a cane to walk. The doctors, they will also have to experience this. The doctors are highly respected because they are dedicated to discovering illnesses, finding cures for their patients. They are taking the burden of care for that patient, thinking day and night, how is he now? How can I take care of him? And the doctor thinks of how he will cure the patient, but he doesn't think of God. He has no time for God. So one day, death will quickly come and will not give him a moment to think of anything, even if we realize these facts. And we have thus left our houses, our position, our wealth, and all attachments, and even if we have followed and taken initiation from a bona fide guru, if we have no taste in chanting and in remembering Krishna's pastimes, our position is very critical. This time is very critical for all devotees, as shown by the example of ISKCON after the departure of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. All the devotees became weak because they had not developed real taste for bhakti. They had given up their jobs, their wealth, and everything else, but they did not develop a taste for bhakti. Nor did they even have nishtha, the determination of the mind to do bhajan. So to develop these qualities, a high class of association of sadhu sangha is needed. Again, to develop these qualities, a high class of association, sadhu sangha, is needed. The qualification of a sadhu is that he has realized the meaning of the scriptures. Simply knowing the scriptures will not do. He should be realized by practicing bhakti yoga. One who can tolerate all difficult situations and who can reconcile all the conflict and confusion in this world, who is not attached to sense gratification and worldly things, is really a sadhu devotee. If one associates with such a sadhu, he may be saved, otherwise not. And that is why it is stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastre Koi, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoi. Translation: the verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. If we associate with a pure sadhu, then we can realize something about bhakti. We can then be like Sri Prahlad Maharaj, Srila Haridas Thakur we can be like Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, and your Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Srila Swami Maharaj was really a sadhu. He preached throughout the entire world, and he also sent me to do the same. He told me, my devotees are in trouble, and many problems are coming. They are becoming weak and lifeless, so you should go and help them. I have come only for this purpose. Not for wealth, reputation, or any other material gain. At the old age of 84, I have traveled around the world about 16 times. And all those who meet with me, they are attracted, especially sincere senior devotees of Srila Swami Maharaj. And even those who have left the sannyas order are now coming to me. Srila Swami Maharaj requested me at the time of his departure to help. He requested me to come to his bedside in Vrindavan. And when I approached him there, he took my hands into his and he began to weep. He requested me to please help his devotees. He told me that he had collected so many devotees, more than 10,000, but he had no more time to train them. And he also told me in Bengali that he had collected so many monkeys, but could not fully train them. So he wanted me to help them realize who he really was and what was his mission in this world. The process to become happy is quite easy, but we must try to follow it. The Supreme Lord has created this world. Who is the Supreme Lord? The Lord is one, without a second. There are not different gods for Americans, Indians, Christians, Hindus, and Muslims. There is only one. The names are different, but they have similar meanings. What is the meaning of God? G, generator, O, operator, D, destroyer. In both the Sanskrit and Arabic language, God has the same meaning. Within a second, he can create, demolish, and again create entire worlds and universes. He is very powerful and very merciful. And he also has some form, although it is not worldly or material. His form is transcendental. In the Bible, it has been told that God created man in his own image. So what is the meaning? God has a transcendental form, and the human entity has a similar form. If God had no form, from where would the forms of this world come? How would God bestow his mercy? This is why the Bible says that man is created in the image of God. Muslims also cannot deny that God has a form. In their Quran it has been written that Allah has a form. So how can they deny this? God has a transcendental form, and he is very merciful. Sometimes he will manifest that transcendental form to those who serve and who pray to him. I know from scriptures that Jesus went to India as a young man. And when he was there, he traveled to various holy places. He went to South India and Jagannath Puri, where he saw the deities of Krishna. There, all the devotees called him Krishna. But the Oriyan pronunciation sounds like Krushna. We call him Krishna, and they call him Krushna in Oriya. Then, in Western countries, Jesus wanted to tell of Krishna or Krushna, but his pronunciation sounded like Christos, Krishna, Krushna, Christos, and then Christ. So God is one. So what is the process to receive the Lord's mercy? That Supreme Lord has invested all his unlimited powers and his complete mercy in his holy names. And you can chant any of these holy names: Christ, Krushna, Krishna, Allah, Khuda, or God. If Jesus is the Son of the Supreme Lord, then the Father must be like his Son, or his Son should be like his Father. Like Father, like Son. Like Son, like Father. So if Jesus has a human form, then his Father must have a human form. Not the form of a cat, a dog, or a pig, and not formless. He must have a beautiful form. We pray to his beautiful form and his nature with such powerful names of God as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you chant this even one time in your life, you will gradually develop honor for Krishna. And after that, you will have transcendental realization. There was a dacoit who was named Valmiki. And he used to kill everyone who passed through his forest, steal all their possessions. He killed countless people. So one day, a great realized sage named Narada Rishi, he came and he asked him why he is doing such sinful things. Valmiki answered, to protect and maintain my family and my life, my family members. Now at first, Valmiki had also wanted to kill Narada Rishi, but Narada had said, stop. By Narada's mystic powers, Valmiki had to stop just by hearing that word. So after that, Narada asked Valmiki whether the family members for whom he killed so many persons, whether they were prepared to share his sinful reactions among themselves. And Valmiki insisted that they certainly would not do so. Then Narada requested him to go to his home and ask his family members for verification. He went home, asked his wife. She told him that according to Vedic culture, it is the husband's duty to maintain his wife and children. It is up to the husband how he will do that. And he has to accept the reactions to his own deeds. So the wife is called Dharma Patni, the religious partner, and thus she shares in his religious merits, not in his sinful demerits. That's what the wife said. So then, after asking his wife, he then went to his parents, and they told him that they had nourished him and maintained him since he was born. And now that they were very old, it was his duty to maintain them. And it was not their duty to share his sins. And they told him that they could not do that. Now, Valmiki then realized something about material life. And he returned to Narada. And Narada then took some water and threw it on Valmiki's head. Valmiki began to see in trance that all the animals and people whom he had killed were in endless lines, holding their weapons and ready to kill him. Narada again sprinkled water on him. Now Valmiki regained his external consciousness, and he fell flat on the ground. And he prayed to Narada, "Please save me." Then the great sage Narada replied, "I will save you, but first you should break your bow and repeat after me. Rama, Rama. This is the name of God who is everywhere. He is called Rama because he gives pleasure to the hearts of all devotees." Then Narada told Valmiki to call Rama, and he would thus become liberated and transcendentally happy. But Valmiki could not utter the name Ram. Then Narada Rishi asked him if he could say Mara Mara. And Valmiki said he could easily say this, because Mara means to kill. So he chanted Mara 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 Rama 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 Rama. This Mara Mara Mara, which became Rama Rama Rama, and he was thus liberated. So if we chant with love and affection, Hare Krishna, or any name of God such as Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Rama Rama, God or Huda, that Supreme Lord will come and will manifest his transcendental form. He will take you with him, and you will be happy forever. Why? There is a reason why. In this world, we see that if you take a piece of stone or iron from the ground and you throw it into the air, then it will fall back to the earth. This is the law of gravitation. We see that all things made from earth, it will fall back to their source. On the other hand, if you release a gas balloon, it will float free of the earth into the air. And you cannot imagine where it will go. Where do the flames of a fire go? They are attracted in the direction of the sun, and they rise up through the air. The theory is that parts of the whole are naturally attracted to their source. So similarly, when we, parts of the whole, eternal servants of God, when we meet together with him, only then can we be happy. So I have explained that although we are conditioned souls and we are suffering so much, we are not realizing our soul, and we are not thinking about our spiritual responsibilities, but we can very easily be happy in our life. We can have some realization of this, and that will come by chanting the holy name. How can those who have so many responsibilities, how can they have time for chanting? We look to the gopis of Vrindavan, who are the highest personifications of love. God is love, and love is God. What is the meaning of love? This worldly sense gratification is not really love. Transcendental love is a phenomena beyond this world. It is an exchange between the soul and the supersoul, not between one material body and another. That is material sense gratification. Whereas Gopi Prem, love for Krishna in the mood of the gopis, is the highest example of love of God. The gopis remember God all the time, even in their householder life. They used to chant and sing all day. Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. They would chant the names of the Supreme Lord. While sweeping their houses, they would sing Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. While they were milking the cows, they would sing Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. When putting their babies to sleep, they would sing to them Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. All the gopis, they would wake early in the morning, 4 o'clock a.m., and while churning yogurt and while doing other household work, they would sing Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. There is no need to constantly chant on beats. While driving in your car, you can sing. What? Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. Even if you are a doctor and you are giving injections, then you can sing. Everyone should say. Everyone sing this. Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. If you are a university student, give up thinking bad things and sing Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. There is no need to do exercises like repeatedly sitting down and standing up during prayer, as we see in some religions. Just sing Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti. Nor are we like yogis, sitting straight and still. Nowadays, in towns and cities around the world, especially in Japan and in Thailand, I have seen thousands of persons doing yoga. This is not yoga. Yoga means to connect the soul to the super soul. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj came to preach this mission of Bhakti Yoga. You should try to connect your soul to the super soul. This is a very easy process. Simply chanting Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, Govinda Damo Daramadaveti, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the easiest method during this lifetime, and also after we leave this world. The soul has a transcendental form. Otherwise, how could it be captured in this physical body? A time will come when the soul will give up this body, and then this very dear body, it will be put in a grave, it will be burned to ashes, or eaten by worms and turned to stool. This is the transformation of this body. We should try to somehow maintain our lives and also help others. But we should know who we really are, how we can be happy, and what is the process of chanting the holy names. I have not come to make you Hindu or to change your religion. I have come to tell you that you do not have to give up your religion or your home or your job and your family. Just chant and remember the Supreme Lord. This is the only method, chanting the holy name. And without the holy name, nobody can save you. When you die, you cannot take any wealth from this world. Even a penny or a single hair on your head cannot be taken from here. then why are you working so hard to enjoy this temporary body? You should maintain your body, but only to realize the soul and the super soul, so that you can be happy forever. Your purpose is not to be in this world. When you die, you will have to give up your father, your property, all your possessions, and you will not know your next destination. But by the practice of chanting, you can know all these things very easily. The problems of this world, they'll not be able to touch you. And if problems do arise, you will be able to place your feet on the head of all those problems and be happy. So I request all of you, whether you are engineers, doctors, wealthy or poor, ladies or gentlemen, politicians, presidents, prime ministers, or anything in this world, I request all of you just chant and remember Krishna and help others by Nagar Samkirtan, loud congregational chanting. If a yogi is in trance and hears some ordinary sound, he will be disturbed. But if you are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then all your senses will be controlled automatically. There will be no need to try to control them separately. This is the highest process. So you must try to follow it. Gaur Prem Anande Hari Hari Bo. So, we just heard Gurudev's entire lecture in Tucson, Arizona. Tucson, Arizona, at the University of Tucson, Arizona. Yes. In the Student Union, Gurudev gave that lecture. In 2003, May 4th. So, that's amazing, what we just heard. What we just heard from Gurudev. And he told his whole relationship with our Prabhupada. And he told what is the critical time for all devotees, what they must do, how they must have sadhu sangha. So much he told in this lecture, because half of the audience was devotees and the other half were students. So he aimed a lot of this at the devotees, and then especially the last part, he aimed at the students. Any comments or questions so far?
I have one. This is Valmiki, this is the person who was at the time of Ramayana.
Yeah, he wrote, he's the author.
The same?
Same.
Okay.
Later he became Valmiki Muni, and then he wrote the Ramayana from these blessings and power of the whole chanting the holy names and blessings of Narada Muni.
How many years he chanted Rama?
It doesn't say. I've never heard how many years. I haven't heard.
Like 60,000?
Huh?
Maybe 60,000.
Maybe. It could be any amount. But we don't know. Did you hear? I haven't heard. Did you hear? I haven't heard. But he chanted it a damn long time. No question about it. He chanted it a lot. Otherwise, how he would become so empowered? He became completely purified. Completely purified. And then he was able to write the Ramayana. So this is astonishing. But how is that possible? Narada Rishi. That's how powerful these personalities are. So I want to read Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj's lecture. It's very short. About Parashuram Jayanti, the appearance day of Lord Parashuram. Do you know what Parashu means? Parashuram, that's his name. Parashuram. And the word Parashu, do you know what it means? That's explained by Srila Bharati Maharaj. Parashu means a scythe, a curved, very, very sharp instrument which is used for cutting, the hay, like that. Very, very sharp. Scythe. Slashing and cutting it. So, he says today is Parashuram Jayanti, meaning the appearance day of Sri Parashuram Dev. There are 3 Ramas. Parashuram, Dasharati Ram, that means Lord Ramachandra, and who's the 3rd Rama? No. Radhika Ramana Ram, which is Sri Krishna. Is the Ram referred to in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Oh, sorry, he's saying Radhika Ramana Ram, or Sri Krishna, who is the Ram, referred to in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So for us, Hare Rama, it actually means Radha Krishna. It's not referring to Lord Ramachandra or Balaram or any. Now his katha is now talking about the father's name, Parashurama's father's name. And what was his name? Jamadagni Rishi. Jamadagni Rishi, and his mother's name was Renuka. We used to have a godbrother, but I think they didn't know the proper spelling of his name, because when I joined the temple, he was there. Actually, even at that rock festival, he was there. He was brand new like me, and we both had the same birth name. But he got the name Jama, but we used to call it Janma Dagni. We didn't know how to pronounce it, but actually it's Jama Dagni. Jamadagni Rishi and Renuka. Now in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been written that Jamadagni Rishi, he once ordered his sons, who were also his disciples, to decapitate their mother, Renuka. Why? You know the story? You don't know the story? Really? Are you serious? You don't know why? Oh, you forgot. Yeah. She, when she was washing clothes at the riverside, then she glanced at some man there. I don't remember the details. But Jamadagni, through his mystic power, which was incredible, his mystic power, he knew that she had glanced in that way. That's why he ordered his sons, his 3 eldest sons, he ordered them, cut off her head. So now we're going to hear what happened. So he ordered his sons, who were also his disciples, to decapitate their mother, Renuka. So not understanding how it would be possible for them to cut off the head of their own mother, so the 3 eldest sons, they refused to follow their father's instruction. But Parashuram, which was his 4th son, and his youngest son, immediately obeyed and cut off her head. Jamadagni Rishi then instructed him to cut off the heads of his 3 older brothers. And Parashuram again complied unhesitatingly. Now, being satisfied with his son's obedience and desiring to grant him a benediction, Jamadagni Rishi said, "Whatever you ask for, I will make it so." Parashuram replied, "If you truly want to grant me a benediction, then please make my mother and my 3 brothers appear just as they were before I decapitated them. I also want them to forget what was done to them." So Jamadagni Rishi granted his son's wish, and the family appeared just as it did before. Now, is that pretty amazing mystic power? Huh? Yes. So regarding this pastime, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, quotes the Raghuvamsha. And this is a quotation that Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj has, I've heard him quote this numerous times in his, in his writings. This statement is, Agya Guru Nam Hi Avacharaniya. Agya Guru Nam Hi Avacharaniya. You know what vichara means? Vichar means to deliberate, to analyze. So what is the meaning of this statement that is also quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita? It means one should follow the order of his guru without consideration. Then also in the Ramayana, Ayodhya Kanda, is the following statement. Nirvicharam guror agya maya karya mahatmanaha. We must follow the order of Guru, an extraordinary personality, without any consideration. Well, it's the wrong English word used here. Consideration. Yeah. Because in English it doesn't convey truly what this statement is telling. In other, Yeah, like taking some time and trying to figure it out, why Guru has told me this, before you actually do it. He says we must follow the order of Guru, who is an extraordinary personality, without any consideration or any deliberation. Now, whatever order may come from Sri Guru must be executed at all costs. However, this principle is applicable only to a qualified guru capable of completely fulfilling any and all desires of his disciple. Jamadagni Rishi was not only Parshuram's father, but also his guru. And he was able to heed his son's request in full. So thus, there was absolutely no fault in Parshuram's action of killing his mother and brothers. Now in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 19, is the following verse spoken by Krishna. Ya enam veti hantaram, yaschainam manyate hatam, ubauto na vijanito, nayam hanti nahanyate. One who thinks of the soul to be the killer, or that the soul is killed, that person who thinks that is ignorant. Because the soul is neither killed, neither slays, nor is slain. So then he continues talking about this basic requirement for a guru-disciple relationship. If someone realizes that his guru is unqualified to fulfill his desire of obtaining the longed-for service of his Ishtadeva, then there is no need to fully... Wait a second. So, if someone realizes that his guru is unqualified to fulfill his desire of obtaining the longed-for service of his Ishtadeva, then there is no need to fully follow that guru's orders at all times. In such a case, there can be some consideration as to whether or not an instruction should be carried out. It is mentioned in the Shastras that the guru and the disciple should examine each other prior to accepting a guru-disciple relationship. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahashaya, he has mentioned in his Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Kanda 268, that if by some great misfortune a person accepts an unqualified guru and does not give up that guru, so-called guru, after realizing he is unqualified, or if a guru, unqualified guru, accepts a disciple in the hopes of receiving material benefits, then the shishya, or the shrotara, here means shishya sahite yamapase dube. This means such a guru or such a speaker, he suffers in the clutches of Yamaraj with his disciples or his listeners. Now when Sugriva was asked by Lakshman to take shelter at the lotus feet of Bhagavan, Sri Ramachandra, who is himself the Supreme Lord, so then what did Sugriva reply? Do you know? So Lakshman is asking him, you should take shelter of Lord Ram. He is the Supreme Lord. So then Sugriva said, I will never accept Ram's shelter unless and until I thoroughly examine him and he proves worthy of my surrender. He then told Sri Ramachandra, so Sugriva is telling to Ramchandra, I want that you take only one arrow. I want you to shoot it with your bow, and in that one shot pierce 7 tall trees. I will only accept you as the Supreme Lord if you can accomplish this. So it was only after Sri Ramachandra heeded his request that Sugriva surrendered at the Lord's lotus feet. So now, there is a section titled The Origin of this name, Parashuram, and it's a very, very interesting story here that Srila Bharati Maharaj is telling. He says, there was once a powerful king of the Hayas, whose name was Kartavir Arjun, who had received 1,000 arms by worshipping Sri Dattatreya. His power was such that he was able to stop the flow of the river Narmada. And he once even arrested the mighty 10-headed Ravana. That's how powerful he was. So once, Kartavir Arjun, he was traveling with his army during a time of drought and famine. And just as a severe storm broke, Kartavir Arjun and his army came upon the ashram of Jamadagni Rishi, and they requested him to provide them with shelter. So upon meeting these uninvited guests, Jamadagni Rishi felt it is his duty to properly host them by seeing to their every need, including those of the elephants and even the horses that were included in the army's ranks. So Kartavir Arjun was astonished by Jamadagni Rishi's ability to render considerable service during a time of famine and drought. So he could not understand how it was possible for him to provide comfortable accommodations for such a large party, considering the dire situation. So he therefore asked Jamadagni Rishi, how is it that you are able to make all these arrangements in such a wonderful way? So then Jamadagni Rishi replied, this is the mercy of my mother. Now, confused, Kartavir Arjuna asked, how so? Where is your mother? Then he said, by mother, I mean mother cow. Jamadagni Rishi responded by saying, I have a kamadhenu, a wish-fulfilling cow in my ashram. And because of her, I have been able to properly welcome you and your army. It would not have been possible without her. Now hearing this, Kartavir Arjuna said, please consider the proper utilization of a kamadhenu. You live in this ashram with limited necessities, whereas I have millions of subjects in my kingdom. It would be proper for you to give this kamadhenu to me, as the needs of my kingdom are greater than yours. So hearing Kartavir Arjuna's proposal, Jamadagni Rishi was unable to decide what to do. Now, very puzzled, he approached his kamadhenu, and he prayed, O mother, until now you have been very merciful to me. But now this Kartavir Arjuna is asking me to hand you over to him. Perhaps his fortune is that you wish to bless him at this time. I only wish to serve you and fulfill your desires. Therefore, whatever your wish may be, whether you desire to be with him or to remain here with me, let it be so. Now, despite Jamadagni Rishi's pleas, Kartavir Arjuna forcibly took the kamadhenu back to his palace. When Parashuram came to learn about this event, he became extremely angry. And we can't even imagine that level of anger of Parashuram. So he became extremely angry. He considered that though it is the duty of Kshatriyas to respect, to serve, and to give protection to sadhus, without asking anything from them, Kartavir Arjuna has forcibly taken the kamadhenu from his father, Jamadagni Rishi. Due to the degradation of the Kshatriyas, he vowed then and there to kill their entire caste. He was previously known only by the name Ram, but upon making this vow, he took up the parashu weapon, a sickle-like chopper, and he was thenceforth known as Parashuram. In observance of his vow, he killed the entire Kshatriya caste 21 times. Just pausing, there's a little bit more to finish. I want to say something first. Save that. So, we have heard from our Prabhupada that in the Mahabharata, it is also described that which races, which different countries and races and great Kshatriya dynasties came to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. Millions upon millions. So, it's also described in the Mahabharata about how the Kshatriyas had deviated from the Vedic culture, and how Parashuram killed them 21 times over. All of them. But then again a new generation came, and then he killed them, and then again a new generation. In the meantime, there were groups of Kshatriyas that fled from this area of Bharatvarsha, and they went to the northwest and to the north. And so our Srila Prabhupada used to say, according to this, all of you Westerners are descendants of the Kshatriya lines. The Caucasians and so forth. They are descendants of the Kshatriya lines. So Srila Prabhupada would use this sometimes. He would say, like to his American disciples, you'll remember this quote. He says, all of you are Americans. Well, what is the use of your being American if you don't do something extraordinary? So you should distribute my books all over the world. He would say like that. Yes, Maharaj.
Arjuna was a Kshatriya?
Yeah, he's a king.
Okay.
That's what it just stated here.
In some versions he killed him. He
Hmm?
killed the father.
Hmm?
The king killed the father.
No. The king didn't kill the father. It is told here that the king stole the cow, the Kamadhenu. So Parasuram said, no way, Jose. And then he took his parashu and he slaughtered him. And then after that, and he took a vow before he went to slaughter him, that he'll slaughter and kill the Kshatriyas who have deviated in this way 21 times. So, now, to end this little speech, the last two paragraphs says that every act of the Lord is like that of a loving Father. Every act of the Supreme Lord is like that of a loving Father. Now, Srila Bharati Maharaj is saying that all the Shastras state that Parashuram is a Shakti Avesh avatar. He is an empowered incarnation of Bhagavan. But still, it is quite astonishing to hear about this pastime. So if he were truly a Shakti Avesh avatar, then why would he kill an entire caste even once, let alone 21 times? What is the reason and what is the mystery behind his activities? So then he says, it is the duty of a loving father to bring his son under control when he witnesses that son engaging in immoral activities. So for the sake of correcting such behavior, a father may be seen to chastise his son with heavy words or even slap him. But the motivation behind these actions is only love. Similarly, in enacting this pastime, Parashuram is playing the role of a loving father, who upon seeing the degraded mentality of his Kshatriya sons, he wanted to rectify their behavior. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So that's Srila Bharati Maharaj's speech on Parashuram. And we have covered the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti inauguration, Chandan Yatra of Lord Jagannath. What did Mahaprabhu do on Chandan Yatra during that 21 days when Mahaprabhu was living in Jagannath Puri? What did Mahaprabhu do on the Chandan Yatra days? Because there's something that happened every day for 21 days, and still to this day they do it in Jagannath Puri. Do you remember? They take a deity from the Jagannath temple, which is considered to be an expansion of Lord Jagannath, and he's a Krishna deity, Madan Mohan deity. They take that deity to a boat which they have decorated and placed in the Narendra Sarovara lake, a small lake there in Puri. And they've decorated that boat exquisitely with flowers and all kinds of different shapes and shapes of swans and so forth. And they then launch that boat in the Narendra Sarovara lake and perform kirtan, and it's a big festival. The king comes there, and there's all kinds of wonderful musical and dance performances and everything. So in our Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a painting that was done in the first version of the printing of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it shows Mahaprabhu who is in the water up to his waist, and he's also pushing that boat. So that is the beginning of Chandan Yatra. Why is it called Chandan Yatra? What is the meaning of the word Chandan?
Sandalwood paste.
Yeah. What does sandalwood paste generally do for our bodies? It cools. Sandalwood is cooling. In fact, even there's a sandalwood drink that they sell in Vrindavan during the hot season. It has some sandalwood in it. It's like a sherbet. You drink that and your body becomes cooled. So, on this day, in the Satya Yuga, when Lord Jagannath was first manifested, then Indradumna Maharaj, the king Indradumna, was told by Lord Jagannath that at this time, when it becomes the very beginning of the summertime, everyone becomes very, very hot. So I want that you will smear my body with chandan for those 21 days. And that happens has been happening for millions of years. So Jagannath Dev, when he becomes cool, then we become cool. And just see what's happening here to the weather right now. This is Chandan Yatra Day. Did it become cooler? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes, it did.
Much better.
A lot cooler, yes. Even cool to the point where you have to turn the fans off. I don't know about you, but you know me. So, right. So, in addition to being the Chandan Yatra Day of Lord Jagannath, it's also the first day of the Satya Yuga. We already heard that. This is the day when the doors to Badrinarayan open in the Himalayan mountains. Anyone has ever gone there? You went there? Badrik Ashram. They call it Gurudev always refers to it as Badrinarayan Temple. You went there. Which month was it when you went there?
When it was open.
Yeah.
I forget.
It would have had to be sometime in May.
I forget. I went there
With Drisadumna. Just the two of you.
and then just right, you can walk a ways from the Badrik Ashram temple up in the hills. It's right, that's where the, what's the name of the river? Alkananda River flows.
Yeah.
And then you can walk up the mountain a little bit, and there's the cave of Vyasadeva, and right next to that is the cave of
Badrinarayan or Vyasadeva.
Vyasadeva.
Yes.
And the
What's the second cave?
cave of Ganesh, yeah.
Oh, Ganesh. Okay.
That's where he composed the Bhagavatam, and Ganesh wrote it.
Is that the place also where the Shalagram Shilas are? When persons go to take from the river.
That's the Navadvip.
That's which?
No, that's Gandaki in Nepal.
Gandaki in Nepal. Is it on a lower level than Badrik Ashram or higher up?
It's above Rishikesh.
Oh yeah, but Rishikesh not very high.
You take, yeah, it's pretty high. Then you take a taxi, it's about 3 hours
Okay. So did you actually go from there, from the temple, and walk up to the cave of Vyasadeva? You saw that? And you were also saw the deities in this Badrinarayan temple?
And they keep it closed for I forget how many months during the snow season.
Yeah.
They light a ghee lamp, and when they come back months later, the ghee lamp's still lit. And some other miraculous, some wonderful thing.
Okay, but today this is stated that it's the opening of the doors of that temple on this day. So up to this day, it's not possible for people to come there. But when it gets this hot, then the snow melts and then people can go. Did you ever go? You never? Which place you went to?
I have been to Srimad in Rishikesh and
Okay.
I was there for 6 years, but I was about to go.
Okay.
It's a very perilous, dangerous journey.
We were there at Vyasadeva's cave.
Mm-hmm.
The Pujari had to go away, so there's some other people, tourists that visited, so we ended up explaining the whole pastime of Vyasadeva, Ganesh, etc. And then we took a japa walk a little farther, keep going up the mountain from there, and all of a sudden some Indian soldiers stopped us and they said, "Hey, where are you going?" And they asked us for our documents, etc. They said, "You know, you just entered into China." It's very close to the border of China.
Okay. So they turned you around, that you couldn't go there. Okay. So just finalizing, so the establishment of Gaudivedanta Samiti, Parasuram Jayanti, Akṣaya Tritīyā, of course, Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Maharaj, my dandavats at his divine lotus feet, and then you also alerted to the other, what was the other one? That Sudama Vipra, we talked about that, how he visited Krishna in Dwarka on this day. And also Sri Vyasadeva started to compose Mahabharata on this day. And the Pandavas received their divine Akṣaya Patra on this day. So, we've covered everything for this glorious Akṣaya Patra day. Oh, but I wanted to just read a few lines I forgot from Srila Bharti Maharaj when he's talking about what is the devotee's mood on Akṣaya Tritīyā. And he talks about when he was growing up and all the different types of rituals that were performed and different special kind of bhoga offered to Bhagavan on this day, Akṣaya Tritīyā. And he says that the general masses, there is a belief amongst the general masses that whatever auspicious ritualistic activities one performs on this titi, it will bear inexhaustible fruit. Akṣaya. So then he says that by Vedic standards, any activity is to be performed with the consideration of an appropriate time in order to yield the best result. So hence, by referring to an almanac or an auspicious time, is identified to perform the activity, because there are also inauspicious times during the day. But, however, on Akṣaya Tritīyā, no such thing is applicable because the entire day is auspicious. So, a question is being asked to Srila Bharti Maharaj by our Madhava Priya Prabhu. He says, what does it mean when they say that anything done on Akṣaya Tritīyā, it becomes inexhaustible or it becomes everlasting? Do activities performed by fruitive workers like karmis, or activities by jnanis and pseudo-yogis and pseudo-devotees even, do they become inexhaustible? Then Srila Bharti Maharaj says, if one seeks wealth and he performs charity on this titi with this motivation, then one will never experience any deficiency of wealth in his whole life. His wealth will become inexhaustible, but it does not mean that he will attain Vaikuntha. With respect to the example above, the term Akṣaya implies that such an individual will never experience any deficit of wealth in this life. But in reality, is there anything eternal? But in reality, is there anything eternal or everlasting in this material world? In reality? In other words, since our lifespans are short, we cannot possibly experience all the results of our actions in one lifetime. And for this reason, many believe that the fruit that they receive as a result of performing pious activities on Akṣaya Tritīyā is inexhaustible. But nothing in this material world is factually everlasting. So, one may think that he will eternally remain wealthy due to the notion that anyone who performs charity on Akṣaya Tritīyā accrues everlasting benefit. However, since nothing in this material world is eternal, the word Akṣaya, too, in regards to anything material, can't be taken as eternal or everlasting in the ultimate sense. Bhagavan is eternal, and hence only any activity performed in connection to him, bhakti, this is truly eternal. The acts of charity, austerity, or penance performed without any connection to Bhagavan, they are simply temporary in themselves, and they bear only temporary results. So, Madhava is saying, so in reality, it is not everlasting. And Srila Maharaj says, no, it is not everlasting. And that is applicable to the Jnanis and the Yogis as well. Nowhere has it been mentioned that they will attain Hari Bhakti, Goloka, or Vaikuntha by performing pious activities on Akṣaya Tritīyā. So then Madhava Priya says, so what should the devotees do on this titi? And Srila Maharaj says, a devotee should do Hari Bhakti. Any activity that is pleasing to Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. He quotes the verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Lokaki Vaidiki Vapi Ya Kriya Kriyate Mune Hari Sevanukulaiva Sakarya Bhaktim Ichata. Means that any devotee may act as an ordinary human being or as a strict follower of Vedic injunctions. That a devotee may act in either of these ways. In either case, everything he does is favorable for the advancement of devotional service because he is in Krishna consciousness. So any activity which is favorable for Hari Seva, it is called bhakti. And what does one achieve by performing bhakti? By performing bhakti, one achieves the fruit of bhakti, and that means one attains Bhagavan. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, it says, Nasadayati mam yogo, na sankyam dharma uddhava, na svadhyayas tapastyago, yata bhaktir mamorajita. My dear Uddhav, the unalloyed devotional service rendered to me by my devotees, it brings me under their control. I cannot be thus controlled by those engaged in mystic yoga, Sankhya philosophy, pious work, Vedic study, austerity, or renunciation. So only by performing bhakti, one will get bhakti. Nowhere is it mentioned that bhakti can be attained as an outcome of performing other activities unrelated to bhakti. So then, the Chandan Yatra day, he just makes a little comment about this, how it has been celebrated since the Satya Yuga for Lord Jagannath. And he says the actual context is that Bhagavan invents an excuse to give service to his devotees. So what is the excuse? That due to severe summer heat, my body is burning, So please smear me with sandalwood paste. Bhagavan only accepts service from his devotees, not from just anyone. He told his devotee Indradumna Maharaj that starting from this titi, smear chandan on my body for 21 days. This is the reason why Chandan Yatra is celebrated in Puri. And then Srila Maharaj talks about how Madhavendra Puri was selected by the Lord to bring sandalwood to cool his body, and he did it. So the point is that the Lord benedicts the devotee, and he invents a particular reason how that devotee can come and serve him. Gaur Premanandi. Jai Shri Chandan Yatra ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Deva ki Jai, Jai Akṣaya Tritīyā ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Prema Anandi, Hari Hari Bo. Maharaj, very short Mahamantra.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai
Jagannath, Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath,
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath,
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath,
Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me.
Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Gaurari, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Gaurari.
Jai Sachinandana, Jai Gaura Hari, Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hari.
Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Gaura Hari.
Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Om Brindai Tulsi Debai Priyaye Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubi Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All glory to the assembled devotees. Vsia slava savrafyam sia priyadanim.